How's it going, guys? Let me hey Aleph, how's it going? Happy New Year's. Let me go ahead and post this link up real quick and then share this to everyone, then we can get started. See if I got everything right here. Got that started up. Just set this up real quick, send out the links, and then we can get started, guys. So happy New Year's, guys. Welcome to the new trading week. It's our first trading week for 2021. And it is NFP, so it looks like it could be a really good trading week for us, guys, because if you guys have seen from our results, NFP has actually been very beneficial for us. You know, compared to other people who usually don't do so well during NFP, we've actually been very profitable during NFP. So we'll see how that'll play out. I think volatility will be pretty decent this week with NFP going on and the market's reopening. I personally am not going to take any trades until maybe later tonight, if not tomorrow, because the market's been closed for quite some time. Let's see, it's been closed for how many days now? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's been closed for almost 4 days now. So we're probably going to expect some unusual movement within the first couple hours of reopen. But let me go ahead and send out this link, guys, and then we can kick off this session. So let me see. Everything here is working. Live session. So let me go ahead and post this link up. And then we should be good to go. Hey, John, how's it going? Hey, Walter, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year, Nicole. Happy New Year's, James. Happy New Year's, everybody. So like I mentioned, I'm probably not going to be trading right away because of how the market conditions might be running today. But we will try to get some trades going. Weekly chart, live. Let me send this link out so everyone else can join in real quick. And then we can kick off this weekly chart analysis. So we got that there, that there, that over there, and that right there. I got a couple other places to send this as well. Get this on the Facebook real quick. And send out these emails to everyone as well over here. Wow, guys, it's January 3rd already. This last year flew by really quick. I feel like this year is going to fly by even quicker with everything going on. Yeah, let me go ahead and just send out these links real quick, and then we should be good to go. So I'm gonna get this on Facebook. Send an email out as well for everyone. See you later. Copy this link. Hey, what's up, Merciful? What's up, Dennis? Hey, Skillustrate, sorry, Gactive, the producer morning, everybody. Or not even morning, it's afternoon already here. So let me just send out this link to the rest of the people here so everyone can join in, and then we can kick this off. So get that there. Yeah, hopefully you guys are excited for this year, guys, because we had a crazy good profitable year for 2020. And, you know, I didn't really realize it until the end of the year once we did the end of year results. So let me just send this out real quick. And then I think we have one in the last place, our Instagram. And then we can get started for good. Let me post this up real quick. All right, I'm gonna get this up right here. Copy this link. Post this up on the IG, and I'll show you guys the the results that we've had this year. And they're pretty remarkable, honestly. For me, I don't really follow my profits throughout, the week or the month or any of that like that. I just wait until the end of the year, and because the thing is, you can have some bad weeks, some bad days, even a bad month in some instances. But at the end of the year, that's the main goal. You want to be profitable at the end of the year. So here are results from this year. I'll pull them up over here. So I did have our trades from last week. We only had a few trades. We only had trades on the 29th because it was a short week, right? It was New Year's Eve. So we traded on the 29th. We had 3 full TPs for our Forex trades. We had 1 stop loss for our UK 100. And then on Wednesday, we had a full TP for US 30 and a stop loss for UK 100. So overall, for the year, or just for December, we had 34 wins for Forex, 2 losses, a gain of 1,200 pips. And then for indices, we had 16 wins and 7 losses. Obviously, this was a bit of a bad month for indices because of the market conditions, but they were still pretty profitable. And then you look at all of our trades for Forex this year, we had 462 wins. Let me get my chart down. 462 wins and 146 losses for a net profit of about 19,000 pips, which is not bad at all. So let's look at our win rate for the year. Our win rate for the year is 462 plus 146. It's a total of 608 wins. So 608 divided by 462, or actually the other way around, 462 divided by 608. Sorry, guys, my math sucks. 462 divided by, yeah, so we had about a 71% win rate for Forex, it looks like. Oh, is the number right? I think so. Yeah, so that's still pretty high. 71% win rate for, if we round it up, for Forex. And then for our indices over here, I feel like I did this wrong. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I was looking at this number right here, and I was looking at this one right here. So yeah, for our indices, it was 91 plus 25. So 116, that'll be 91 divided by 116. We had about a 79 or 78% win rate for indices, which is not that bad, guys. You know, your main goal is to be above 50% because you want to be profitable at the end of the year. If anyone has like a crazy high win rate, you know, odds are it's probably not realistic, or they're just scalping like these small little trades. You know, for us, we're trading on the 4 hour. So obviously it's a pretty good win rate for an entire year for both Forex and for indices. So the total profits, profit potential for Forex, if you're trading like a standard lot, it'd be nearly about 200K. Same with our mini lots, maybe about 20K. And then obviously with the micro lots, about 2K. Same with our indices over here. I think most people trade about a 0.01 micro lot, and then some other people trade about a mini lot. So this would be your profit potential for indices and for Forex. So it was a pretty good year, guys, overall. I mean, I can't complain over, with those profits, especially if you guys are doing FTMO, you guys can take bigger lot sizes. Your profit potential is like pretty much unlimited at this point. So let me see if there's anything else over here before we continue further. Hey, Jason. Hey, Patricia. Hey, everybody. Oh, okay. That's what I did wrong. I was like, I swear a win rate for Forex was a lot higher. So let me redo that again. Sorry, guys, that's my bad. So we had 462 plus 146. So at 608 trades, if we divide 462, oh, that's why. Okay, you guys are right. 462 divided by 608. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was like, I swear our win rate was at least above a 76%. So we're technically around 76% win rate for Forex. So actually, that's a really, really good win rate for an entire year, right? We have all the trades here from January until December. So that's actually really, really good, because the thing is, if you took every single trade, or even if you didn't take every single trade and you took majority of them, your win rate would still be above a 70%, which should make you profitable for the end of the year. So for you guys that were with K2 from January up until the end of the year, we did pretty well overall. So congrats to you guys who made profits off that. I sure, bagged a lot of profits off this as well. But the real key here for me was the indices. I started indices in May. So our results only from May to December are pretty remarkable as well. And this is why I'm so excited for next year, because we went from this and from this right here, just from May until the end of the year. And if we had like 5 more months of indices, you can only imagine how much more profit we could have made trading US 30. And on top of that, we added UK 100 to our list as well. So there's a ton of profits to be made next year, guys. Let me see if there's anything else over here. Everybody, let's see. Yeah, Kasim, it's huge, bro. We have a ton of profit potential. Angela said, Shawn, for win rates, do you adjust the pips when it's recommended to close out of TP1, or if the trade stopped down in profit, or do you count a win regardless because it hits full TP? For me, if you saw how I trade, Angela, I don't know how long you've been in K2, but everyone in K2 knows how I trade. I trade twin positions. So I have two positions running at a time. Let me see if I could probably just search the chat right here. If you want to trade. So basically this is how I do. I have two positions. I have one where I adjust my stop loss, and I have two where I run to full TP. So if it hits TP1, it's counted as a win, right? Because obviously I'm already in, if it hits TP1, I win in position 1 and I win for position 2. So it's automatic win for me. That's why TP1's counted as a win. But it doesn't matter if you did that, because if you look at our results here, majority of them hit full TP. So let me go over here to drive.google.com and I'll just pull up the results for you over here. Because even if you were just taking TP1, if you were going to full TP, you'd still be around the 70% win rate, because we still hit full TP most of the time. So I have, let's see the results right here. I haven't finished December yet. I was still working on this yesterday. But looking here for December, you can see that most of them hit full TP, right? So full TP, full TP. There's only a few here that hit TP1, or they don't even hit TP1. Most of them go to TP2. So TP2, full TP, majority of them hit full TP. As you can see down here, these are straight full TP. So it doesn't really matter if you're doing the same way I'm doing or if you're doing the other way. And this is November as well. There's so many full TPs here. So it doesn't really matter which way you would do it, if you'd run to full TP or if you adjusted your stop loss. If you adjusted your stop loss, you'd probably have above an 80% win rate, because we rarely hit stop loss. So you can see right here for November, we only had 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we only had 3 losses for November. So if you were adjusting your stop loss, you would have like probably a 95% win rate. But if you were just running them to full TP, majority of these hit full TP right here. So our results are counted as if they hit TP1 or TP2, because most of the time they go to full TP anyways. So just depends on how you want to do it. But for me, we count the TP1s and TP2s as full TP, because it wouldn't make sense for us to count them as a loss if they hit TP, right? So you look at December, all these full TPs. You look at November, all these TPs right here. All of October, you can see all these full TPs over here as well, right? So we have a couple here where they, let's move this over, yeah. Full TP, full TP, full TP, like straight full TPs for September into October. And there's only like one TP2 right here, which is still half profit. If you get to TP2, you should always move your stop loss in profit regardless. But looking at these here, we've only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 losses, and then probably like 20 to 30 wins right here for, actually it's right here. So we had 39 wins and 10 losses for September, or for October, I mean. And yeah, I mean, it really depends on how you want to do it. Either way, if you were going to count it from full TP or TP1, TP2, it'd just be a small difference. It'd probably be maybe a 5% difference for the win rate, but it wouldn't really make a huge difference overall, because most of the time we hit full TP. Let me go back to the YouTube over here and see if there's anything else. James is asking, does FTMO allow NFP trading? Yeah, James, I don't even recommend you do NFP. Well, depending on what you mean by NFP trading, because if you're trading just NFP, that's just gambling, because you don't know where it's going to go regardless. And that's why FTMO doesn't allow it. But if you're trading, like if you have an active trade from Thursday and then it goes into NFP, you can have that running. It's fine. You just can't have a trade running. You can't have a trade running like I think 5 to 10 minutes before and 5 to 10 minutes after, because they don't want people gambling. They don't want people to, you know, take a huge lot size and then let the trade run, and then it goes through slippage because it moves too fast, and then people end up blowing accounts. So that's why they don't let you trade during actual NFP, but during the entire week they let you trade. So it just depends if it's before or after. And in most cases, you shouldn't be trading around that time anyways, because you know, you can see a lot of price spikes, and if that happens, you can easily hit your daily loss limit or even your max loss limit in some cases if you're taking, too big of a lot size. So just keep that in mind. But in reality, you shouldn't be trading NFP, James, if you're thinking about it. A lot of people like to trade NFP and they get lucky sometimes, but most of the time they get burnt. So I wouldn't recommend you trade NFP. I especially wouldn't recommend you trade it on FTMO either, because odds are more likely than not that you'll blow the account if you try to do that, or not blow the account, but you'll lose the account for sure. Jay's asking how to calculate lot sizes in FTMO. For example, is a 100 lot size the same as normal? So Jay, depends on which asset you're trading. If you're trading Forex, it's the same thing. The only difference is US 30 because it's traded as a future. So if you're trading the E-mini, it's measured in mini lots versus standard lots. So a 1.00 in standard lots is going to be equal to a 10 lot on FTMO because they're mini lots. That's why they have the E-mini next to them. And Jay's also mentioning, I also heard that you can't have trades running in the weekend on FTMO. And that's correct, Jay. You can't have trades running over the weekend because you don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. If price spikes in a certain direction and you run into some slippage, you can lose a lot of money or you can make a lot of money. So that's why FTMO doesn't allow it, because they don't want you to be blowing their accounts over the weekend, taking like some trades that you're gambling with. So they don't let you hold trades over the weekend on a funded account, but you can do it during challenge. It's just during funded because you're basically trading real money, right? So you don't want to lose like you're trading a 100K account. You don't want to blow that 100K over the weekend trying to get lucky with like one trade that you think is going to shoot over, into the next week. So that's the main reason why they don't do it. A lot of people don't understand that, but sorry guys, it's logical. You don't want to trade running over the weekend. Like let's look at US 30 over here. So US 30 gapped, I think. I don't know if I can find an example. Oh, like right here. Like see this huge gap right here? This is why they don't want you trading over the weekend. Because the thing is, if you're say your stop loss was like right here, right? And price gapped up here and market reopened and it just kept shooting up. Say if it kept shooting up right here, you would continue to eat that loss because there would be some slippage in between this gap right here. So that's why they don't let you hold trades over the weekend. And it's not just for US 30, it's for pretty much any other pair, because FTMO requires that you trade, like a professional trader. They don't want you to take these like unnecessary risks, or they don't want you to gamble your positions over the weekend, basically. So yeah, pretty much that's pretty much, the reasoning behind those rules. A lot of people don't understand, but it's really logical why they would have it. Just think about you like letting someone trade your 100K account, right? You're not going to have someone gamble your 100K over like one trade. And it does make sense, but a lot of people just don't get it. But, hopefully you get it then now that I've explained it to you, because it does make sense overall. But yeah, so I think that's it for the questions. Let's see if there's anything else here before we get started. All right. Thanks, Ala. Yeah, guys. So if you guys haven't already, please like the stream, because we're just trying to grow this channel so I can continue to keep doing this daily for you guys and pretty much just give you guys, as much knowledge as you guys need and pretty much answer any questions that you guys have. And I'm doing this completely free every day. And as long as we continue to grow the channel, I can continue to do this pretty much every day, guys. I don't mind hopping on here and answering your questions. And hey, what's up, Josh? How's it going? EU, bro. Yeah, me and Josh were talking about EU yesterday. I think he wanted it to go up, right? Yeah, so it looks like it's going to come up right here. This is exactly what I was mentioning yesterday, or not yesterday, Josh, when we talked like a couple of days ago, where we saw where it dropped right here. So I anticipate it to shoot up pretty heavy. The reason for that is because I'm sure a lot of you guys in the US got your stimulus, right? So if you guys got your stimulus, that means they're printing US dollars. So if they're printing US dollars, the US dollar is going to be weak. So if it moves up this way, this is going to indicate that the US dollar is weaker than the euro, and we should probably see it continue up further. So it looks good for the most part, Josh. I think once it breaks this structure up here, then I'll be convinced that it's going to continue up further. So I'm going to go ahead and draw these structures in a little bit, and then you guys will see exactly what I mean by that. Dennis is asking, Yeah, no problem, Milton. Dennis is asking about the affiliate program. Yeah, Dennis, I'm probably going to release that probably this week. I was going to do it earlier, but there just wasn't much time with the holidays and stuff. But I'm going to be doing that this week. So hopefully by this week I'll have it. But it's only going to be available to the premium members. I think you're in the premium, right, Dennis? So if you are, you should be cool. I'll be giving you the updates for that later. But yeah, Dennis, I'm pretty sure you're in the premium. So all the premium members will have access to the affiliate program, because obviously I want people who are going to be, promoting K2 that actually have experience with K2. I don't want someone to just be promoting it just to promote it. Obviously, I want someone that's actually getting value from K2 and actually knows what we do here and is actually profiting with us. So yeah, definitely, Dennis. I'll be sending that out maybe, if not this week, next week for sure. One question from Eric is, are the free trade alerts not on Telegram anymore? Yeah, Eric, they still are. Is this you that just joined? Eric S. Yeah, they're still there, Eric. I think you just joined it. They're right here as well. So they're still there. Nice. Good to hear, Dennis. Definitely. Yeah. So I'm going to be releasing that probably this week, if not next week. And then we will, we'll go on from there. I'll teach you guys how I do it so I could help you guys out, because it's really easy to get people in K2. It's just I don't have time for it because I'm too busy actually trading. So I'll definitely release that sometime this week, if not next week. Oh, nice. Okay, so Eric's in here also. I think everyone's good. So that's it for the questions right now. If you guys have any questions for any pairs you guys want me to look at, basically, if you guys are brand new here, what I do during the weekly chart analysis is I go down the whole watch list right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw these zones on the chart. You see how these zones are perfectly drawn throughout the chart from last week up until this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw all these zones so that you guys can see where to trade and where not to trade. Basically, these zones are going to indicate areas of rejection. So you can see right here, basically what price does is it goes and retests these zones. So basically it'll start from down here, reject off this point, push up to here, test this zone, and it pretty much just bounces from zone to zone, right? So if I give you guys the closest zones to current price for each of these pairs right here, you guys will know exactly where to trade, right? Obviously right here, you wouldn't take a buy, because once price reaches the structure right here, it can either come down or it can break above and continue up further. So if you guys have an idea where these zones are, you guys will know not to trade at these specific price points, because obviously you don't want to trade where there's room for manipulation right here. Obviously price can either go above or go below. So in this situation, we'd wait for price to either close below and continue further down. So if it continues further down like this, we can enter a short position, right? And then write it to the next zone down here. Vice versa, if price closes above the structure right here, then instead of taking a sell, we would take a long position right here. And then we would just pretty much write it up until the next zone up there. So that's just an example of what we do here, guys. So you guys can see here, if you're using the strategies that I teach here, the strategies that everyone else in K2 uses, basically for this specific entry over here, we would use the K2SR strategy. And you can see right here is price break structure. So I'll just show you an example of what we would do here. If price break structure right here from one of the zones that I drew last week or a couple of weeks ago on the 10th, and we have a momentum signal indicating a bullish momentum right here, then in this situation, we would take a long position, and then we would pretty much ride this up until the next structure, right? We'd wait for it to push up to this structure before we exit. So our exit would probably be around here for about 175 pips. And then basically what happens when it reaches the structure is it'll either continue up and break above it, where we take another buy entry, or it would reject below off the structure, and then we'd pretty much just ride it all the way back down. So for example here, if we were to take this position and then we were to let it run, as I think we did do last week. So if we let this run, you can see right there, and price pretty much does exactly what we anticipated it to do. It took some time, but eventually it did test the structure up here, and we would have gotten out in profit. And I think this is a trade that we actually took. So if I go back to our results over here and I type in AUD/USD, yeah, looks like I called a trade for AUD/USD right here on the 10th. See the date here, guys. So I called this trade here on the 10th, And that's exactly when we took this trade over here on the 10th, right? So it would have hit 175 pips. So for that specific trade, let's see, I called it right here a buy stop. It was exactly like how I lined up in the chart, right? Price broke structure. We caught the ride up. We hit full TP. So looking over here at odd USD, we hit full TP for our first position was for 40 pips right there. And then our second position was for another full TP for 80 pips right there. So we pretty much caught two waves from the move up. And that's how these zones are beneficial to you guys. So I'm pretty much doing this for you guys for free, just giving you guys these zones. And you know, the only thing I ask for is if you guys can like the stream, because in that way I can continue to do this for you guys and we can continue growing the community. So let me go ahead and start marking these charts up. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to analyze anything specific, feel free to put it in the chat and then I can take some time on those charts. Otherwise, I'm just going to zoom through all these pairs right here and draw the zones for you guys. That way you guys can be prepared for the trading week ahead of you. Flynn said, what is the appropriate lot size for UK 100 on the FTMO 100K? So Flynn, I don't trade a UK 100, so I wouldn't know necessarily. Spencer, I think you're here, right? Spencer, you should probably ask any of the London guys. So I think you can ask Spencer, Jazz, Mark, Patricia now. She's also helping us with the back test. Thanks for doing that, Patricia. And I think I'm missing one person. Sorry for whoever I'm missing. But I think that's about it. Let me check real quick. Yeah, so we've got Patricia, John, Spencer, Alkin, Jazz, and Mark. So if you can ask any of those guys. Okay, perfect. Patricia just answered. So she said 5 to 10 lot. So there goes your answer right there. Obviously, if you want to be conservative, you can do a 5. If you want to be risky, you can use a 10. I'd probably stay in between the 5 and the 10, maybe a 7 if you want to be. Sorry, guys, my dog's barking. Let me get it real quick. Holy shut up. All right, got him calmed down. Perfect. Thanks for that, Patricia. Yes, Patricia said 10 lot, you can lose up to 2,500 bucks. So it looks kind of similar to the lot size that we use for US 30. It just really depends on which trade you're taking. Because if you're taking both US 30 and UK 100, then it's going to make a difference. But if you're only taking one trade, then you can take max lot, obviously, right? Like for me, I don't take the UK 100, so I take I take a 15 lot on US 30. But if I was taking US 30 and UK 100, then I wouldn't be taking a full 15 lot because I would want to split the risk between the two pairs. So that should be good. Yep. All right, cool. So guys, let me get started. I know a lot of you guys just want the zones here so that you guys can start trading. So I'm going to go down the list right here, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly, where to trade and where not to trade. So let me go and delete all this, zoom out from this point, turn on the K² SR indicator, and then now I can draw these zones. So we got one down here. For these down here, I'm going to make some bigger zones because price is so high that these zones down here are they're a little irrelevant because we're probably not going to be trading down here this week. But it's good to know just for reference. So let me go ahead and draw these right here. That should be good. And in this situation right here, we don't have an upper zone. I'm going to go in the higher time frame, the 8 hour. Nothing there. The daily, nothing there. The weekly, something there. So it looks like there is a zone here on the weekly. I'm actually going to redraw this zone right here to have that in place. And then I'm going to draw this upper zone right here. So we've got a lot of space right here, guys. So looking at this right here, I'm going to turn off the K2SRs so we have a bigger picture. And just looking at odd CAD right here, if I turn on the momentum indicator, it looks like we have a bearish signal right here. So what I anticipate to happen here is price will come and retest this structure right here, right? And then at this point, price can either close slightly below and swing back up and provide a buy signal. If this happens right here where price swings below, swings back up with the buy signal, then we can anticipate this to push even higher to new length up here. But like I mentioned, it's NFP week, guys, so we have to be careful because there's a lot of stuff that can affect the market this week. So if I pull up the calendar over here, we have GBP news tomorrow morning at 1:30 a.m. It's your manufacturing PMI. Then we have the OPEC meeting, which is it's with regard to oil. So this is going to affect all major currencies. We do have Canadian news at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. And then we have a bunch of different news that are spread out because it is NFP. So we might be able to see some, some nice movements this week, but we'd have to play it by ear because generally I think this will overall shoot up. It'll continue pushing up because looking at the other AUD pairs over here, they're all pretty bullish, right? But they've been bullish for a while. So it might be due for some retracement right now. So at this point, this might swing down a little further. It might even go down even further. It might do this. It might come down into the structure and then maybe go sideways. And then I think maybe in a week or two, it'll probably shoot right back up. But this move right here hasn't completed yet. So just keep that in mind, guys. We had price break structure right here. You see this buy signal and odds are it hasn't finished its move yet. So technically, I think it's going to keep pushing up overall. And the next structure is way up here. So like I mentioned, price might come down, retest the structure, reject off it, and then shoot all the way back up. But, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. We do have some Canadian news coming up tomorrow morning. We have some more Canadian news on Thursday. So we'll see how this plays out. If the news is bad, also their unemployment data, right? I don't know how Canada's doing because I know in the US, our unemployment data obviously is bad because of COVID. I'm not sure if stuff has reopened over there yet. So depending on how their economy is doing, if it's not doing so well, which is what's probably going to happen, this is probably going to shoot up from here. So this is something that we will look at, into this week. But yeah, just to provide you guys with the current zones. So basically right here, prices in between these two zones. This lower zone right here is going to be it's 0.97762. And this upper zone right here is going to be 1.01035. So those are the two closest zones to odd CAD. But we'll see how this plays out during the week because as price continues to move up further, new zones might be created within these areas, right? Every time price moves up, this might be created into a zone. And if that happens, price break structure, it'll provide for another buy entry right here. So we'll see how this plays out, guys. But until then, you guys have those two zones right there. And then we'll continue on with our watch list. So let me go ahead and hide this. And let's see if there's any other questions here before we continue moving on further. Sam said, come on, guys, only 18 likes. Wake up your friends, your family and stuff. More likes, please. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, guys, if you guys have any friends or anybody that wants or family that wants to learn about trading, I do these live sessions every single day. So if you guys have any questions, just have them hop on, just sit in on a session. There's a lot of people that just sit in on the sessions and they learn so much just from hearing me talk and hearing me explain, my theories with trading. Like basically my main thing with trading is I trade momentum. So I wait for price to break structure, like how we've drawn right here. Basically price rejected off this structure. And I'll just show you an example right here, guys. So price breaks off the structure, like right here. I turn the momentum indicator. Let me just redraw this right here. And this is really easy for someone to pick up. If you guys just watch me every single day and see what I do, you guys can pick this up very easily. So we have rejection off this structure. We have price break structure right here. We have a bullish candle right here. There's like 3 confirmations there. We have a rejection, bullish momentum, breaking structure right here. And then it pushes up to the next structure. Like I mentioned, this is how we trade. We wait for price to break structure. We catch that momentum move and then we get out before it rejects off the next structure. And then we pretty much just rinse and repeat. And then again, same right here, same situation again. Price rejects off this point. You have a sell signal right here. And you pretty much do the same thing. Sell signal right to the next structure, right? Rejection right here. And it's really simple, guys. Rejection, buy signal. And this counts as the 2 confirmations. So we have a rejection, a buy signal, and a break structure because it's within this structure. And then you pretty much just write it to the next structure. And then that would have been how many wins right there. So you have one win right here for like about 100 pips, right? Or about actually 65 pips. You'd have another win right here to this next structure for about another 70 pips right there. And then you have another buy signal right here, and you could pretty much trade in both directions. So right there, you'd have a total of, let's see, if you took all those 3 trades, you would have had 65 pips plus 70 plus 122. You'd have a pip gain of 257 pips just trading this one pair. And then if you're trading a standard lot, you multiply that by 10 to profit of 2,570 bucks. And you guys can see how simple it is, right? That's the thing with K2. We try to keep things as simple as possible because a lot of people like to overcomplicate trading when it's really not that complicated once you figure it out. You know, obviously not all trades are going to win, but for us, we have a very high win rate because we keep things simple and we try to, you know, catch these momentum swings in the market. So that's just a quick explanation of how that works. Let me keep going with these pairs over here. If you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to put them in the chat, and then we can continue on further. So let me see if there's anything else here. Let me see if there's any questions before we move on to the next pair. I already went over odd CAD right here. Our next pair is going to be odd CHF right here. Patricia said TP1 was the only target I went for my challenge. I only trade UK 100. Took me 17 days to pass. Slow and easy wins the race. Oh yeah, and I'll show you guys an example here of everyone's profits, right? So like in K2, guys, I'm not the only one that's profiting. There's a lot of people here that actually profit way more than even I do, because there's some people that trade every session, like they trade London and they trade US, while I only trade US and Asia. So looking here, there's a lot of people that killed it over the weekend, like Isai over here. Mersabal, you're in here, right? Mersabal locked in about 600 bucks over the weekend. That's really nice. Cheryl over here locked in about 9,000. And you guys can see here that everyone here locks in like profit even when I'm not profiting. They take trades on their own because they have the indicators, they know the strategies, and they do everything on their own. Like here's Nibras over here. He locked in about 9,000 on the 31st. So pretty much here, I save everyone's profit. So if you look here, this is the 31st, and I just scroll up, look at all the profits here. These aren't even my profits. These are just K2 members and people here who have passed FTMO. So let me see right here. We had a couple people. Jazz over here, he got his FTMO funded account there, 100K. Congrats. Everyone over here as well. Vincent over here locked in some nice profit. He took the trade on his own. He did what I mentioned. He waited for price to break structure. He saw that buy signal. He took the buy. He hit TP right there. So he was like, yo, if no one tells you this, you're the GOAT. Because I'm here helping everyone learn, guys. I'm not just giving you guys signals. I'm actually teaching you guys the skill so that you guys can trade on your own. Because a lot of these profits are not from me. Like UK 100, that's not my strategy. That's something that the UK guys has created, and everyone's pretty much profiting off it now. Victor over here, he just became an FTMO trader as well. And if I scroll through here, you guys can see the date here, right? December 18, December 31st. Every single day, everyone's profiting in K2. It's not just me. It's literally everybody. So December, see, I can just stop anywhere. Profits right there, 1,000 pips. I mean, $1,000. December 9th, Kim over here, 650 bucks. December 3rd, Anthony over here, 5,000 for the week. Scroll up over here. It's like doing a roulette basically. December 1st, November 23rd, Yadin over here locked in about 50 bucks. November 16th. Paulo over here locked in about 800, and pretty much everyone here is killing it, guys. So if you guys want to be part of the family, you know, you guys are more than welcome. There's no pressure if you guys want to join or not, or if you guys don't even want to join, you guys can just hang out with us and make profit with everyone else here. But yeah, pretty much over here, I saw Patricia. She said that she did TP1 for her first challenge, which you guys can do too. Because like I mentioned, you know, looking at our results here, we almost always hit TP, guys. So if you guys only go to TP1, you can have like unlimited profits that way. It won't be like crazy profits, but you're still going to make some pretty nice winnings here because all these greens here are at least TP1, a full TP. So just keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions regarding K2 or anything specific, feel free to put them in the chat or reach out to me, and I can answer anything that you guys have. Otherwise, let me keep going through the chat over here real quick. Let's see. Alice said, do you take Forex trades based on the 4-hour and US 30 off the 10-minute? Yeah, Alice. So I use the K2SR strategy for Forex, and then I use the daily US 30 strategy for US 30. Nice. Flynn said, I did tell someone on TikTok about K2 in your YouTube channel. Her name was Charlie DML. Nice, Flynn. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. But yeah, guys. So let me continue on with our chart analysis. And then if you guys have any specific questions, just specific. So here we are with odd CHF. I'm going to go ahead and draw the zones here for odd CHF so that you guys can see. Took everything off the chart. Turn on the K2SRs. And here we go. So let me go ahead and put that there. That there. And you guys can see how easy it is to draw these zones if you have the K2SR indicator. Instead of guessing where these zones are, you just let the computer do everything for you, because obviously the computer is going to be more accurate than you and I could ever be. So I obviously trust the computer's calculations. I would try the lower zone. I'm going to go in the higher. Man, don't tell me I have internet connection issues. Guys, I've been having internet connection issues for the past couple of weeks now. Hopefully this. Okay. Once 30. Let me see if you guys can see me. Can you guys see me? Just want to make sure. I just froze up for a second now. My internet connection went in and out. So I'm not sure if you guys, I think you guys can see me now. So let me go ahead and redraw these upper zones over here. All right, so I think we got these all set up right here. Price is actually at resistance. All right, cool. So price is currently within these two zones right here. This upper zone is going to be 0.68084, and this lower zone down here is going to be 0.67810. All right, cool, guys. It looks like I'm back. Just had an issue with their internet connection for a second. It's been a problem for the past couple of weeks now. I think it's because of the holidays and also because of the weather out here. Flynn said, Shawn, can we take a gander at your 30? Yeah, sure, definitely, Flynn. So I'll take a look at that once I'm done with these pairs. I'll just go down the Forex pairs real quick, get all the zones for you guys, and then we'll move on to the DAX down here for you as well. So if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to zoom through this so that you guys can have access to all of these zones, as the week has started. So I'm going to zoom out from here, delete everything off the chart, turn on the K2SRs. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw my zones now. So let me see, we got that there. Yeah, guys. And if I spot any trades, I'll call them. We'll see if we hit anything on market open, but I generally don't like to trade this early in the market because market's just kind of crazy. You got to let everything stabilize, let everything reopen since we've been off on a 4-day close until we start making some moves. So we have those lower zones. I'm going to go on the higher time frame to find the higher zone for OJPY. All right, so the zone's kind of far out right here. So I'm going to go back over here, close this off. Price is currently within these two zones right here. This upper zone is going to be 80.339. Again, that's 80.339. And this lower zone right here is going to be 78.835. So those are the two zones for OJPY right here. Let me go ahead and continue on a little further. Let me check the chat real quick. Alan said, hey, Shawn and the gang. First time on live chat, loving the content. Awesome. Welcome, Alan. Yeah, Alan's new to the group, guys. So Alan actually reached out to me over the weekend, and he's reached out to me, many times before. He's just joining K2. So definitely welcome, Alan. And we look forward to trading with you this year. Aleph is asking, do you wait for the 4-hour candle close? Yeah, Aleph, you always have to wait for the candle close because you need that full confirmation. The problem with a lot of people is they try to enter trades a little too early or too late. The problem with that is if you end, so for example here, you see how the wick closed above here, or it didn't close, but it wicked above. The thing is, if you entered a buy position and you didn't wait for it to close, and you entered up here, you'd be in some drawdown right now, right? That's why you wait for the confirmation for price to close above it, because if it's just a wick, price can easily reject off it and come down like it did right here. Price came up, it wicked, and then it came down, right? So that's why you want to wait for it to close before you take any entries, because you want to make sure that that there's that full confirmation that price is going to continue in that direction. Exactly, Aleph. And that's why I started trading on the 4-hour, because it's a lot easier. You know, you just check at the same time every single day and you'll see if there's entries. If there's no entry, just wait for the next one. And you just got to be patient. And it's like fishing, basically. You know, it's a game of patience. And once you have that full confirmation, you can take the trade, and then you can pretty much rest easy, because it'll probably run in the same direction that you thought of. Let me see if there's anything else over here. Let's see. Charles asking, so when you were using the zone and signal indicator, can we ignore the trend indicator, or is it a factor? So Trell, depending on which strategy you're applying, for this specific strategy, for the K2SR, you only need the momentum indicator, which is the vertical lines, and the zones. That's all you need for this strategy. If you're applying a different strategy, like the intraday strategy, then yeah, you would need the trend meter down here. But for this specific strategy that I'm applying, we don't need it. You know, obviously it would give you a better confirmation. So like right here, you can see it was green, right? So if you had that, that would give you an extra confirmation, but it's not necessary. It's just extra. The problem is you don't want to have too many requirements, because if you do, you'll miss out on some good trades. And that's why we try to keep it at a bare minimum, depending on what strategy you're applying. So if you're applying the K2SR strategy, then you don't need the trend meter down here, but it would give you that extra confirmation if you really need it. But it's not necessary. So I personally don't use it. I don't recommend anyone else use it either. But if you'd like to, it's open to you. Let's see if there's anything else over here before I continue. Flint, welcome to the group. Alan, you just made a great investment in your Forex education and future finances. Nice, nice. Yeah, no problem, Trell. All right, cool. So I think that's it for the questions right now. Let me move on to the next one. I just went over odd JPY. So we're at odd NZD right now. I'm going to delete everything off here. And then I'm going to start drawing these zones. So we've got the K2SR lined up right here. I'm going to draw these zones down here. Like I mentioned, when price is like way up here and you have some lower zones, these aren't going to be that important, because odds are price is probably not going to drop down here by next week, right? It's probably going to take a couple weeks, if not a couple months. So in this situation, I'm going to draw these zones down here, but I'm not going to make them too much of an importance, because we're probably not going to be trading in that area for the next couple weeks or so. So let me just continue drawing these zones right here. This is where it gets a little important, because price is going to use these zones as rejection points if it ends up swinging back down, which it might, because I was talking with CT earlier. I don't know if CT, if you're in this room, but I did mention that I think the NZD might be a little bit strong. So we'll see how that plays out. I got these zones lined up. Price is currently within these two zones right here. So I'll give you this upper zone, which is 1.07148. And this lower zone right here, I'll give you this lower one right here, actually, because there's not enough space between here to trade. It's only about 10 pips. So this upper zone right here is going to be 1.07148. And this lower zone right here is going to be 1.06851. The reason why I gave you these two zones right here is because if price breaks and closes above the structure, you can see it's tested at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 times right here. If price breaks the structure and closes above here, then we might be able to take this long position, because we have a bullish momentum right here, right? It was like I mentioned before with the previous strategy. When price breaks structure, we have that bullish momentum. We confirm that rejection right there. You can take this long position from right here to full TP for about 60 pips, right? Same situation right here. We still have the bullish momentum. So if price breaks above this structure and closes above it, it'll provide for another long position right there, where we can basically ride this up even further. So just keep that in mind. Vice versa, if price ends up closing below here and we get a sell signal, then we can ride this downwards to this structure down here or down here. Similar to what happened right here, right? Price broke structure. We had that sell signal again right here. We had the sell signal right here. Price broke the structure. Either if you want to take this entry right here for a sell or this entry over here for a sell, it doesn't really matter. But if you were to write it to this next structure right here, you could have locked in about 36 pips. So price can go both ways. We're just waiting for that full confirmation before we decide to take any entries. But either way, if price closes above here, you can probably take a buy. If price closes below here, then we can probably take a sell. So we got to be patient with it. Don't be too in a rush. The trading week just started, guys. The trading year just started, actually. You guys don't want to hop into anything too early because you don't really know exactly where price is going to be going for the week moving forward. So just stay patient and wait for those entries to reveal itself. So right here for AUD USD, I'm going to zoom out, delete everything off the chart, turn on the K2SR indicator, and draw my zones for you guys. So draw these lower zones right here, down there, right here. All right, so we got that right there. And this over here. All right, cool. So we don't have an upper zone. I'm gonna go on higher time frame. 8 hour, nothing there. Daily, nothing there. The weekly, perfect. We're right at the zone. So I'm gonna draw this zone right here, and I'm gonna draw this upper zone right here as well. All right, go back to the 4 hour right here. Turn off the indicator. Like I mentioned, price just rejected off the zone right here. So price is currently within these two zones. This upper zone right here is going to be, I'll give you this upper one way up here. This is going to be 0.77464. And this lower zone right here is going to be 0.75729. So for AUD USD, I'm sure you guys are aware with the stimulus that came out for the US dollar. That's going to weaken the US dollar, right? A lot of people got that 600 in their bank account this weekend. And with that money being printed, it's going to weaken the US dollar. So what I anticipate to happen right here is I'd wait for price to break this structure right here. Once it does, then I would take a long position right here and pretty much ride that up to the next structure for like 300 pips right there, right? Because this is just going to go hand in hand with fundamentals. So fundamentals are going to indicate that the US dollar is weak. And on top of that, like I mentioned earlier, I think the Aussie is going to be strong overall because it's been strong for a bit. However, it might not be this easy. The reason why I wouldn't tell you to enter right now, because if you enter right now, it's too early, right? If you enter at this position right here, price can easily pull back and test this structure before it actually breaks this structure above here, right? So the thing is, you don't want to get caught in this drawdown or any of this retracement right here before making this entry. Obviously, you're going to give away some pips, right? You're going to give away maybe 50 pips right here, waiting for this to break this structure. But for me, the reason why we have such a high win rate at K2 is because I'm very patient and I'm very decisive with my entries. I'm not gambling at all, guys. Like when I'm trading, I trade with, actual analysis, and I know what's going to happen because I actually think this through. I'm not just entering this because I think it's going to be bullish. I'm entering it because it breaks structure and I'm catching that momentum swing upwards to the next one. So that's why I wouldn't recommend entering this just now, because at this point, everyone knows that it's going to go up, right? If I look at the IG sentiment over here, let me see if I can pull it up. IG sentiment, AUD USD. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are long AUD USD over here, right? Let me go ahead and pull this up right here. Actually, there's a lot of people short. So it looks like a lot of people are trying to bet against the market. They think it's going to come down. So I'd let that happen because right here, 68% of people are short. So what they're going to do is they're probably going to, this is what I see happening. They saw this rejection right here, right? What does a common price action trader see right here? They think this is going to come down and reject off this point, right? What I see happening is since there's so many sellers right here, what happens to all these sellers? Majority of people fail at trading, right? Because they all trade the same way. Everyone's looking at this as a rejection point. What I see happening personally is I probably see this happening to drop a little bit slightly so they can trick people. They can lure people into entering this trade because everyone's anticipating this to drop, right? There's so many people in short this market. They're going to let price drop down a little bit, maybe to 70%. They're going to give these people some confidence. They're going to push it down a little bit, maybe go sideways a little bit. And then when you least expect it, it's going to spike up super heavy, right? That's what I see happening right here. I see this spiking up because the US dollar is weak. And then everyone that entered their short position right here is going to get stopped out, right? Because they have their stop loss right here at the structure. And this is exactly what I see happening right here. And then as soon as they get stopped out, what are we going to do? We're going to enter a long position, take the opposite side, and then go for those TPs. So you guys got to trade smart. Don't trade like everyone else, because everyone else plays like majority of people fail at trading. So you guys got to be careful with it. And don't trade like how everyone else is trading, obviously. But yeah, guys, be patient with it. I wouldn't enter this trade just yet because, like I mentioned, people are trading short right now. So they're probably going to make it go sideways, pull it back a little bit. But I think overall, maybe by next week, the week after, it's going to skyrocket up. So just keep that in mind. All right, Milton wants me to check out gold, so I'm going to keep that on the list as well. Flynn, I still have your DAX on the list, okay? So don't think that I forgot about you. So we got Milton with gold right here. So I have two pairs to look at as I move down the list. Currently at AUD/USD, I'm going to try to zoom through these pairs over here because I know not everyone wants to see all these pairs. I'm just going to draw the zones for all these pairs, and then once I get down to the lower pairs down here, I'll go and take some time on that analysis. So let me see if there's any other questions before I continue up even further, and then we'll see what we can go on from here. Nice. Yeah, Flynn said the great strategy to use is US30 pivot strategy. It's one of my favorites as well. So I think that's it for those questions. Let me continue on further. So let's move on to CAD CHF. I'm just going to try to zoom through these guys so I don't waste your time, don't waste my time. Just get this out of the way so that you guys can start trading. So I'm going to stop talking so much. If you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat. And then I'm just going to go through and mark up these zones so that you guys can see exactly, where to trade and where not to trade. All right, so we got this right here. CAD CHF, this pair is one that I don't normally trade anyway, so it's not really a big deal if I take time on it or not, because I'm not going to trade it. It's a messy pair. I should probably take it off my watch list at some point. So yeah, looking at CAD CHF right here, price is currently within these two zones. This upper zone right here is going to be 0.69499, and this lower zone right here is going to be 0.69391. It looks like it's moving bearish right now, so I probably wouldn't enter this trade until price closes below here. Then you can ride that short position to this next structure right here for about 20 pips. So that's it for CAD CHF. Let's move on to the next one. CAD JPY over here. Got it, Sam. So Sam wants me to take a look at US30. I'm going to add that to the list. Sam, US30 and gold. So I'll look at gold with Nilton's question as well. Flynn said, when in doubt, do what my mama told me. Flynn, shut up and listen to Shawn. No, definitely, guys. So like, I'm here to help you guys, right? I'm not here. There's no competition here, guys. I'm here to help you guys. I want to educate you guys, because the thing is, all these trades that I'm telling you, I'm actually taking these trades myself. So I have a vested interest in these. So if I'm telling you these analyses, I'm actually taking these trades as well. So I have money on the line, and I actually want these to play out. So if you guys have any questions and I analyzed it for you, just keep in mind that this is a legit analysis. I'm not just giving you guys some BS analysis. I actually want it to play out because I probably have money on that trade as well. So let's continue on right here. Here's CAD JPY. Zoom out from here, delete this stuff, turn on the K2SRs. And then I'm just going to zoom through these quickly, guys, because I don't have any questions regarding this specific pair. So I'm not going to waste any time on this. Just a reminder, guys, if your questions don't get answered today, don't worry, because the market's barely open, so there's no volatility. The thing is, I have this every single day, Monday through Friday in most cases, at 6:30 a.m. every day anyway. So if you guys have any other questions, I'll be able to answer tomorrow. Today, I'm just focusing on drawing these zones so that you guys can have an edge in the market, as we enter the trading week. So for CAD JPY right here, you can see how nice these zones are. perfectly lined up. Price is currently within these two zones right here. So this lower zone is going to be 80.979, and this upper zone right here is going to be 81.569 right here. Just looking at this here, I think all the JPYs are pretty bullish. You can see price broke structure right here. We have a bullish signal right here indicating a bullish move. So what I anticipate to happen is for this to continue up further, test this structure, hit our full TP if we were to take this trade, and then probably continue up further, if not reject back down after reaching that structure. So keep that in mind for KED JPY. I think for all JPYs, we're probably going to expect this to, I don't know, let's see. Yeah, they all look bullish. So all JPY bullish, KED JPY bullish, EJ bullish, or EJ's not bullish, but AJ, CJ, GJ, NJ, they're all for the most part bullish. But we'll see how they play out during the week, guys. Just because they're bullish right now doesn't mean they're going to be bullish for the following week. So just looking at CAD JPY again, I'm going to reiterate the zones. This upper zone is going to be 81.568, and this lower zone right here is going to be 80.979. So we'll see how that plays out. Like I mentioned, a lot of stuff happens over the weekend, guys. So don't correlate last week's movement. So last week had this this bearish movement right here, right? Don't correlate this bearish movement with this week, and don't correlate this bullish movement with this week either. Wait and see how the market moves once the market's fully open by tomorrow, and then make your decision from there. Because what could happen here is we might see some consolidation. Then all of a sudden tomorrow or Tuesday or Thursday, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we can probably see this spike up or spike down. So don't jump the gun, guys. Be patient and make sure to wait for confirmation. Wait for price to break from this point above this structure, or from this point below this structure. Then it'll give you confirmation that price is probably going to continue down here or continue up here. So keep that in mind, guys. Be careful. It is NFP week and the week's just starting. So don't hop into anything too early. Got you, Trail. Yeah, Trail wants me to take a look at NASDAQ as well. So let me add Trail to the list. Trail, NAS 100. Take a look at that as well. And I think that's about it. So let me continue on further. We got CAD JPY right here. Just went over that. We'll go to CHF JPY right here. Go ahead and delete everything off the list. Take that off, K2SR. And then let's go ahead and draw these zones real quick. All right. Yeah, definitely, Sam. NAS is going to go. I think all of the indices are going to move pretty crazy this week, guys, because of the stimulus. And then on top of that, because of, I think Biden's taking over next week, right? Or if he's taking over the week after. I don't know when his inauguration or whenever he's going to take over the House. Let me see if I found my calendar. I'm pretty sure it's on the calendar somewhere. I don't know if it's next week or the week after. Yeah, guys, so I don't have it on my calendar, but I know he's supposed to move into the White House at some point this month. So we'll see how that plays out. But until then, we'll just see how the market moves. But definitely there's going to be some crazy movements going on. So let me look at this right here. Looking at CHF JPY, actually, zooming out from here. Price is currently within these two zones right here. So this upper zone is going to be 117.176. And this lower zone, I'm going to skip this one because this is irrelevant. We're not going to trade from in between these two zones. We want it to either break above here or break below here, right? So like I mentioned, this upper zone over here is going to be 117.181. And this lower zone right here is going to be 116.399. So that's it for CHF JPY. Let me move on to the next one. And let me see if there's any other questions over here as well. Oh, thanks, Wayne. Yeah, Wayne confirmed it. So January 20th is Biden's inauguration. We're on the 3rd right now. Let me see. That's in about 2 weeks, right? Let's see, 3rd. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, in about 3 weeks, inauguration day. In 3 weeks, that's going to be when Biden gets inaugurated. And then at that point, we will probably see some, I mean, from now until then, we'll probably see some movements because Biden and Trump are, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of altercation like on Twitter or on CNBC or anything like that with regard to, getting Trump out of the house, because I was looking at CNBC this weekend or like the last week, and it looks like Trump is still trying to figure out a way to stay in the house. It doesn't bother me at all. There's just a lot of stuff here. Here we go. Trump to attend DC protest against Congress for declaring Biden victory. He's still trying to fight it, guys. So, if you see some crazy things happening in the market, there's going to be some sort of crazy volatility due to this. Anything in the market can be affected to anything regarding the president or the government or stimulus or COVID or anything like that. So be careful with trading through January, because we'll probably see some crazy movements with all this new stuff here. Like here, US air travel hits pandemic high, and everything here is going to be affecting the market from now until the end of the month. So let me go back to the charts over here. I think there was a couple questions. Let me check real quick before I continue on further. So let's see. Skill Trade's asking, what's URL for the IG site or the name for it so I can Google it? So Skill Trade, just go to Google and then Google this. So type in IG sentiment and then whatever pair you're looking for. So like AUD USD, if you want to look that up, it'll come up right there. If you want Euro USD, it'll come up right there. If you want US 30, just type in US 30, come up right there, DJI. If you want gold, type in gold, and then it'll come up right there as well. So it's pretty easy. Just Google IG sentiment and then whatever asset you want to look at. Let's see if there's anything else here to look at from this point. All right, Abar, yeah. Abar is asking for gold. So we do have gold on the list, Abar. We're going to take a look at that after we're done with the watch list over here. Our list right now currently has the DAX 30, gold, US 30, and NASDAQ. So I'll be looking at that once I'm done drawing the zones for all of our Forex pairs. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll add your question to the list. Charles said, I feel like metals are most volatile and spike most when it comes to political. Oh yeah, 100%, Charles, definitely, especially gold. So gold is a safe haven currency, and it's paired with the US dollar, obviously, right? So with the printing done, this is probably going to continue up further. We just printed, I think, 1.4 trillion, or we're going to be printing 1.4 trillion for the stimulus that's just being released. So that's going to affect the US dollar. More money is getting printed, the weaker the US dollar gets. And then when there's uncertainty in the world, people put their money into gold, right? So that's why it's been shooting up. So keep that in mind. It's a very manipulated asset. That's why I don't trade gold personally, but I've seen a lot of people make money and lose money trading gold. So be careful if you guys are trading it, but money can be made with it. So I'm going to go back to the Forex pairs. Our last pair was Euro AUD right here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this and redraw the zones on the chart for you guys. So here we go right here. Draw that upper zone. Draw this lower zone. So draw a big zone right here. This price is so far from the zones. Obviously we don't anticipate it to really get to these areas anytime soon. So looking at Euro AUD right here, we don't have a lower zone on the 4 hour. So I'm going to go on the 8 hour. Go on the daily, nothing there. Weekly. All right, perfect. So we're on the weekly right here. We've got this lower zone down here. And then I'm just going to draw this zone right here because price just broke structure. So it's going to benefit us with looking for any entries down there. All right, so looking at Euro AUD right here, I'm going to turn off the K2SRs. Lined up real nice. All right, cool. So looking at this right here, let's take this off. Price is currently within these two zones right here. This upper zone is going to be 1.59312, and this lower zone down here is going to be 1.56809. So like I mentioned earlier, guys, I said that I felt like the AUD pairs are going to be bullish, right? Euro odd is the opposite because the Australian dollar is on the right-hand side. So with that said, if I think all of the Aussie pairs are going to be strong, odds are Euro odd is going to continue down further. Because in this situation, if price is going down, that means the second currency is stronger than the first. And if my, my little hunch earlier about AUD plays through, this is probably going to push down from this point, and we could be in store for a nice drop for about 140 pips right there, 150 pips, if so. So I might even enter this trade myself, guys, because I'm very confident that the Australian dollar is going to be strong. So I'll keep an eye on this. I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator as well. And it played out just like I said, guys, right? Price broke structure right here. We had a bullish momentum. And what happened? It went straight to this next structure right here. Price broke structure again. What do you think is going to happen here? It's going to push down from this structure down to this structure right here. So, history always repeats itself, guys. Keep that in mind. And, if all of the confluences play out with the AUD, this is probably going to come down as well. So I'm probably going to take this trade. I kind of want to take it right now, but like I mentioned, I'm not going to go against my own rules and tell you guys to enter this trade when we should be patient, because with the market reopening, when London reopens, this can easily spike up slightly before coming back down and then dropping from there, right? So I'm not going to be impatient. I'm going to be patient. I'm just going to wait and see if another entry reveals itself, because I don't want to get into this too early. But I do think it's going to come down overall, if not this week, next week for sure. So just keep that in mind. I give you guys the zones for Euro odd. And then we're going to move on to the next one. I'm actually going to mark that up so I can come back to look at it later. I might just take a personal trade on my own. I might share with you guys, but I'm not going to give you guys a trade without actually, fully analyzing it, because we are just coming back from the weekend, and it was a 4-day weekend. So got to be careful with that. Here we are with the next one. This is a trade that I wish I called last Friday. I did mark it up because it did exactly what I mentioned, right? Price right here broke structure. We had a sell signal. If I took that trade, I would have locked in the 60 pips. Even more if I shot down to the next one, 130 pips. Unfortunately, I didn't take it. It was New Year's Eve. Market can go crazy on New Year's Eve. So that's why I didn't take it. However, if we did take it, it would have played out perfectly. So let me go ahead and delete everything off this chart. Turn the K2SRs right here. And let's draw these zones. So this just goes to show, guys, that, this strategy is the same strategy I used every day last year, and it worked out perfectly all throughout the year. It's not a seasonal strategy where it only works during certain time periods. It works all year round. So if you guys want a strategy that you guys can depend on, I've been using this every single day. This is what all the results are based off. So if you guys want to learn the strategy and apply it yourself, it's all open to you guys. So if you guys want to sign up, just go to the K2 website right here, k2trades.com, and then you can sign up to either the strategy or just the signals. It's up to you. But it's available to you guys. There's no pressure. Obviously, you guys will see me profiting every single day. If you guys want to do the same thing I'm doing, it's open to you guys. So looking at EuroCAD right here, it's within these two structures. This upper structure is going to be 1.56117. And this lower structure right here is going to be 1.55427. So if price breaks below this structure, I'll take a short position, and then I'll ride this down to this next structure down here for a gain of about 40 pips or so. So that's pretty much what I'm waiting for right there. Other than that, let's keep going down further. I'm just going to keep zooming through these guys because there's no questions for these specific pairs. So I'm not going to waste too much time on these. Just want to get through these so I can give you guys the zones, and then we can continue on further. All right. I'm going to clean this up a little bit because price is actually getting close to these lower zones right here. All right. right, so for Euro CHF right here, prices looks like it's attempting to break above this structure. So I'll give you this lower structure right here, which is 1.08007, and this upper structure right here. I'll give you this because in case price breaks above it, you can take a buy if we have that buy signal. It's going to be 1.08188. So those are the two structures for Euro CHF right here. I personally don't trade Euro CHF too much because it's a sideways pair. You can see that it moves sideways a lot. But if you guys do want to trade it, those are the structures for you. If it does break above, you can probably catch it to the next structure over here. However, if it breaks below, you can probably catch it to the next structure down here. So just keep that in mind, guys. And we'll move on to the next one over here. I'm just going to try to zoom through these a little quicker. I know a lot of you guys just want the zone so that you guys can get started. And I'm not going to waste any of your time. So turn on the K²SR right here. Draw this structure down there. This one right here. And guys, the reason why I'm redrawing all these structures, because I know you guys have seen where sometimes I don't redraw all the structures, right? The reason for that is because the market's been closed for about 4 days. So with that said, you know, a lot of stuff can happen over the weekend. So that's why we're drawing brand new structures, because we don't want to get caught in last month's moves. You know, that's last year. We're on to 2021. We're making new moves this year, and we want to make sure that we're up to date 100% with these structures. That way we have an edge over everyone else in the market. Because, you know, a lot of people don't take time to draw these structures, right? A lot of people just want to trade like they think they know what they're doing. And most of those people don't do good in trading long term. So you guys got to come prepared, come ready, have your edge in the market. That way you can always be 2 steps ahead of the game. So the reason why I emphasize these structures so much is because if you guys know where the rejection points are, you guys will know where not to trade. You know what happens a lot with people is they'll take a trade and it'll reverse on them immediately. That's because they don't have the structures there. If you guys have these structures, like if you were to take a sell right here, I probably wouldn't take this sell, right? Because we know there's a structure right there. Odds are price can either reject off this point or reject off this point. So in this situation, I'd wait for price to break above here or break below here, so that you guys can trade smart. You know, don't trade like everyone else. Trade like you're playing chess, basically. You're playing chess. You got to analyze it from all perspectives. So looking right here at Euro GBP, price is currently within these two structures. This upper structure is going to be 0.89637. And this lower structure right here is going to be 0.89151. So that's it for EG right there. Move on to the next one, EJ. Delete those off there. Turn on the K²SRs, zoom out, draw this lower structure. Got that right there. Actually, we'll draw that right there. And that right there. These over here, I'm just going to connect these because there's too much there's not enough space in between the structures where we're going to be taking separate trades. So looking at this right here, I'm going to turn this off. You can see price has been consolidating within this structure, right? It's pretty clear. Price shot up, bullish move, retracement, retest, shot back up. Huge consolidation right here. So EJ was consolidating for about 21 days, not even further. It's been consolidating for like 32 days, right? So with this huge consolidation right here, you guys can anticipate a big move charging up, right? Price hasn't broke out of these structures in like 32 days. It broke slightly above here, but this happened on New Year's, right? So we wouldn't have taken this trade anyways. It's just a manipulated move right here. I think if this bullish candle closes above here, you can probably anticipate a nice bullish move and you can ride that to the moon. However, price closes below here, you can ride this down to this structure right here. So either way, if you want to take a short position right here, that's a 60 pip move. Vice versa, if you're taking a long position right here, it could go even farther. So we'll see how this plays out. But anyways, price is currently within these two zones. This upper structure over here is going to be 127.02. Sorry, guys. 127.020. Again, that's 127.020. And this lower structure right here is going to be 125.78. It's going to round that down. 125.78. So we could probably anticipate a really nice move to happen within the next week or so if price breaks above or price breaks below. And we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Like I mentioned with the other JPY pairs, they all have a majority bullish bias, right? So what I anticipate to happen here is for it to be bullish as well. But I mean, we'll see how that plays out. You never know what's going to happen until it actually happens. So that's it for EJ right there. I'm almost done the list, guys. So I'm down to EN. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 pairs. And then I'll go over your guys' questions. So let me check the chat real quick before I continue a little bit further. Flynn said, my plan for, or no, Sam said, I wish Trump would just give me a heads up before he tweets. I wish, right? Let's pull out the market real quick. Flynn said, my plan for 2021 is to focus on one pair. US 30 overtrading kills me. 100%, Flynn. Even for me, you know, for my Forex, I mean, for my FTMO, I only trade the daily US 30 positions, right? And just looking at the results here for, US 30, you know, if I just trade, well, I mean, I already do only trade US 30, but you know, if you just focus on only US 30, you'd have a huge like win percentage right here. I think it was like nearly 80% for just May till December. And then you could have locked in a ton of profits. Like literally, if this is all you traded and you went, you know, you use proper risk for every trade, you could lock in a ton of profits and it can cover your whole Forex trading entirely. So let me continue on with this. I see what you guys are saying over there. Hey, Sam, buy gold. All you need from him. Let's continue on further. We got Euro NZD right here. I'm going to turn on the K2SRs, and then I'm going to draw my zones. So I'm going to try to zoom through this, guys. I know, sorry, I keep going off track. You know, obviously, I just want to hang out with you guys like I do normally. But I do understand that a lot of you guys just want these zones so that we can, you know, move forward with the trading day. Obviously, I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning. We can have more fun tomorrow when we're analyzing the chart when it's actually moving. Right now, volatility is very low. So there's really no point in us taking any trades at this time. But if I do see something, I'll let you guys know. Or if I do take anything on my own account. One thing I definitely want to go back and take a look at is Euro odd, because I do think it's going to drop. If I see it dropping further, I might just hop in that trade for a small scalp or something like that. Hold it until tomorrow, see how it plays out. So looking at Euro NZD right here, I've drawn my zones. I'm going to turn off the K2SR. Price is currently within these two structures. This upper zone is going to be, or I'll give you this one right here, because there's actually a lot of space in between the zone where you can probably take trades. So this lower, this upper zone is going to be 1.70465. And this lower zone right here is going to be 1.69646. So that's it for Euro NZD right there. We'll move on to the next one, Euro USD. And if I'm moving too fast, guys, just, you know, stop me, ask a question in the chat, and then I'll slow down if there's something that you guys want me to cover. Otherwise, I'm just going to zoom through this because we do have a couple questions already set up. We have Flynn with the German DAX 30. We have Milton with gold. We have Sam with US 30. And we have Trell with NASDAQ 100. So I need to get to those questions after I'm done with these Forex pairs. So just keep in mind, if your questions don't get answered today, I'm going to be on tomorrow morning so we can continue on with our analysis once the market's actually moving. So let me go ahead and draw these right here. Zoom out from that point. Draw this zone right there. This one right here. That one right there. That one there. Let's connect these two. This up slightly. There we go with that one. And then we go with this one as well. All right, cool, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the K2SRs. Price is currently within these two zones right here. Like I mentioned before, this is one pair that I was analyzing with Josh for a while about last week. So for this specifically, we do think it's going to have a bullish bias right here. So I think if price breaks above the structure and closes, it's going to skyrocket pretty high. So keep that in mind. However, price is currently within these two structures. This upper structure is going to be 1.22738. And this lower structure right here is going to be 1.21671. So just keep that in mind. If price breaks above here, we can take a buy. If price breaks below here, we can possibly take a sell. So we'll see how that plays out. Otherwise, volatility is just too low right now. We'll have to wait for the market to actually pick up before we hop into these trades. So that's it with Euro USD. GBP odd, I don't think I called this one. I wish I did. Let me see. GBP odd. Yeah, so I haven't called a trade for GBP since November 27, but the last one I called, full TP, guys, right? I wish I called this last week. This was on the 27th around Christmas into New Year's, which is why I didn't call this trade. I wish I did because it hit full TP here for about 90 or actually 165 pips. So this is one of my favorite pairs to trade. Looking at this here, it played out perfectly, just like how I lined it up. Price broke the structure. We had a sell signal. So price broke the structure. We had a sell signal, did exactly what we always think it's going to do. It's going to come down, test that structure. But yeah, unfortunately I didn't call it. I wish I did. But we will be catching that next one. That's for sure. Let me go and delete this off the chart. Turn the K2SRs right here. And let me get to drawing. So I got this upper zone over here. Got this zone right there. This one right here. That one right there. That one right there. And this lower one right here. All right, cool. So price is currently within these two structures, like I mentioned earlier. This upper structure, I'll just give you this one right here, which is going to be 1.78643. And this lower structure right here, I'll skip this one. I'll give you this one down here, which is 1.75922. Because if price breaks below this structure, what's going to happen? It's probably going to come down and test this structure just like it did right here. So price broke the structure, tested down here, rejected up, and then pretty much just bounced from structure to structure, right? So since we have a direction off this point, what might happen is price is probably going to continue its ranging within this zone up to here before coming back down. So we'll see how this plays out. Like I mentioned, I think the AUD is going to be strong. So if that ends up happening, it's probably just going to continue down from here, break structure, continue down from there, break structure, and then we can get ready for that free fall right here. Ready for that. And this correlates with EA. So like I mentioned earlier, I was mentioning that I thought EA was going to drop. If I go back to EA right now, there we go. It's dropping. I'm so tempted to enter this trade, guys. If you guys want to enter, I might just enter this trade, guys. If you guys want to enter with me, feel free, but don't feel obligated, right? Because this is a very speculative trade. There's no, there's literally no entry that's, I mean, there's an entry that's available. However, we're late. So our entry should have been right here. You know, something like that. Our entry would have been right there. However, we're pretty late into this entry. So I might just enter this trade and then just write it down. Should be somewhere around here. Okay, so we're late into this trade about 13 pips, which is not horrible. What I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna put a sell stop right here because I'm so confident about this trade. I'm gonna put a sell limit right there. I'm gonna have my, this is not normally how I trade, but I'm going to set it up this way. Just so that it's like a low risk trade, right, guys? If it fills, it fills. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm gonna cancel it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and enter this right here. You can see I put my sell limit at this point. I'm gonna go for a 60 pip. I normally don't do this. The reason why I'm doing this is because this is a speculative trade. If it was a normal trade, I'd have a 1-to-1 risk, right? But for this specific trade right here, I don't know if it's gonna continue down. So I'm just putting it at a smaller stop loss because this is just it's a gut trade. It's a trade that I'm using, that I've identified using my own skill. It's not necessarily using any of the K2 strategies. However, if we were using the K2 SR strategy, the entry would have been right here. The reason for that is because if I turn the K2 SR indicator right here, sorry, let me Yeah, the K2 momentum indicator right here. If you guys are familiar with, obviously with how it works, you guys would know that when price break structure right here, we would have taken this because I anticipate this to drop further. I'm getting in at a late entry, but if it does hit, then it'll fill my trade, and then I'll ride this down for a profit of, let's see, about 500 bucks, 457. So not bad at all. But like I mentioned, market's crazy right now, so I don't really recommend that you guys just hop into a trade like this. It's just I feel really confident about this trade, so I'm just going to put in a speculative sell, and if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, I'll cancel it, and that's fine with me. I probably should just entered it when it was up there earlier. That was my bad because I was just not there 100%. But I do see it dropping even further from this point. Let me see if there's any other questions here before I continue. Yeah, Flynn said GA equals M. So is there like an M pattern that's closing out on GA right there? Yeah, it is actually. So we have an M. Yeah. Well, I think they're all going to come down. I don't necessarily trade patterns, so I wouldn't really look at it that way. Me specifically, if you know how to see patterns, you probably see it better than I do. But me specifically, just looking at EA right here, and then looking at the AD pair, see how they're all green right here? They're all bullish, right? So if they correlate that way, this is probably going to continue down as well. So we'll keep on going down with the zones over here. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I already went over GA, I believe. So I'm moving on to GC over here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Look at USD 30 over here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys were in the chat the other day, but we took this buy here for US 30, hit full TP. I mean, it was funny. It's funny. A lot of people are laughing about it because there was another guy. Rango, are you in here? Rango, if you're in here, I'm not trying to like put you down, but bro, you always call it a trade opposite of ours, and it always ends up flopping. I think Rango said to take a sell over here, and then it ended up shooting right up to hit our full TP. So a lot of people were laughing about that on Friday because they were waiting to catch you back in this chat today. Because I think Rango was like putting comments on the YouTube channel. And it ended up hitting our full TP. So yeah, Rank, I'm not taking shots at you, bro. I'm just trying to see what your analysis was, because we kept asking you for your chart and you never would share your chart because we were wondering why you saw a sell. Ended up doing bullish just like we thought. So we'll probably see you here tomorrow, Rank, because you're usually here during the live sessions. Anyways, let me go back to the Forex pairs over here. Damien's asking what broker you're using. So Damien, for Forex, I use forex.com. And then for US 30, I use FTMO and Hugo's Way. But for Forex, that's how I was able to put this trade in live right here. So right here for EA, I put the trade in live directly on TradingView because I'm using forex.com. Yeah, Sam said I was too scared to take that US 30 trade. Thought it was a sell. Yeah, Sam, because the thing with US 30 here is that it was at all-time high. But the thing is, everyone thinks it's an all-time high, right? So the problem with that is, so we were, let me see, where were we? We took the trade like somewhere over here, right? It was 29, 30. Okay, so the all-time high was right here, right? And we took the buy trade, and everyone was thinking that it was gonna drop, right? Obviously, I get what people were thinking when they thought this was gonna drop because it was at a high, right? It looked like it was establishing lower lows. However, we don't fall for these tricks right here. This is what everyone else wants. They want you to think that it's gonna drop, right? So a bunch of people put their sell orders right here, but we did the opposite. What did we do? We took a buy entry. So we had a buy entry. And we always get these stupid scammers in the group. These like fake Bitcoin people. Delete that real quick. Banned. But yeah, so going back to US 30 right here, obviously everyone would have thought that this would have been a sell, right? However, we didn't fall for that trick. We took a long position right here because we knew it was going to go up. So right here, obviously it came down a little bit, slightly. but we knew it was going to come up. So what happened was it came up and then it hit our full TP. I think we were about what, 1,500 pips, I think. Yeah, there we go. So this was our trade from last Friday. Obviously, I could see why people thought it was going to be a sell, but you know, we follow momentum. We don't fall for any of this noise right here. And then it played out exactly how we thought. So that's why it ended up shooting up that way. And if you guys followed my previous live sessions, you know, I had historical data that identified pretty much how everything played out. At the end of the year, it's always pretty much bullish. So if I delete everything off the chart right here and I go on the weekly, you guys can see right here that from, so I'll just draw I was trying to find an area right here. Okay, we think we have there we go, date range. So like for right here, every year at the end of the year, it always ends up being bullish, right? So from November up until the new year, it's almost always bullish, right? That's why I took the bullish trade there, because history always pretty much repeats itself. And then, so that was the 20th, 2020. Here is again in 2019, bullish, right? Bullish, 2018. Where was it at? Oh yeah, from right here. Bullish, or no, sorry, wrong area. From down here, bullish. From December up until the new year, bullish. And every year it just became bullish, right? So that's why I took the bullish move there, guys. So if you guys look at history, it almost always repeats itself. It ends up being bullish every single year from, you know, November up until January. So that's why I took that trade right there. And I trusted K2 to give me that momentum swing so that we can follow it properly. You know, unfortunately, a lot of people like to go against the grain. And if you go against the grain, the odds are probably going to get burnt. So looking at that there, it's been bullish every year from 2020, 19, 18, 17, 16, and then again on 15, somewhere down here, December. Yeah. So looking at that right there, you know, that just shows you that it's probably going to be bullish again. That's why I took the trade. And that's why I felt confident about taking that bullish entry. So that is that. Sam said, happy to just take K2 trades and let Shawn work his magic. Flint.com, we're using the 1 hour chart. Flynn, I was just showing you an example of the trade. I mean, here I am back on the 10-minute. It's the same thing. You can see the bullish move right here. Our actual entry was right there. So if I go and show you our actual entry, which was, what was it? 31st? No, it wasn't the 31st. It was like, or I mean, yeah, what was it? 31st, I think, right? So 6, there we go. So I was just showing you the example on that 1 hour. It's the same thing though. So like, see right here, how we have it marked on the 10-minute, Flynn. If I go on the 1 hour, it's the same place where I showed you earlier. So it's the same thing. It was just I was showing you how it moved, but it's still on the 10-minute. There's a 10-minute. We changed to the 1 hour. It's the same thing pretty much. But we do trade on the 10-minute. We don't trade on the 1 hour. It was just for demonstrational purposes for you guys. But okay, so let me go ahead and continue on with our Forex. Sorry guys, I keep going off track with this. I'm gonna try to get through this real quick. We've been on the stream for about 2 hours now, so I wanna go ahead and get this over with so that you guys can have these zones. I'm gonna do those final analysis for those last pairs you guys asked about. And then we can continue on with this tomorrow, because I know a lot of you guys just wanna get these zones out so you guys can take your trades. And that's fine with me, guys, because volatility is low right now, so it's not necessarily the best time to be trading anyways. So give you guys these zones right here. All right, so for GCAD over here, price is currently within these two zones right here. Price broke above it. So I'll give you this lower zone right here, which is 1.73908. And this upper zone right here is going to be 1.74848. So basically price breaks above the structure. You can take a buy, ride this up. Breaks above this structure, you can ride it up even further. Vice versa, if it closes below here, you can continue down from there as well. So we'll see how that plays out. but that's GCAD for you guys. Move on to the next one, GCHF. Delete those zones, zoom out, turn the K2SR. If I'm going too fast, guys, just slow me down or ask me a specific question so I can show you guys. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you guys these zones for the people here that just want the zones. And then we will continue with our live session tomorrow morning. So let me just zoom through these real quick. Looking at GBP-CHF right here. Got our zones lined up. All right, for this pair right here, price is currently within these two zones. This upper structure is going to be 1.21243, and this lower structure right here is going to be 1.20251. So if price breaks above, you can take a buy. If price breaks below, you can take a sell if we have the momentum in that direction. Move on to the next one, GJ over here. And you guys can see how easy it is for me to go ahead and just analyze every single pair if you guys have these tools that I use, right? It makes things so much easier. You can analyze each pair within a few seconds and not spend too much time on stuff that isn't relevant. Because a lot of people try to overanalyze pairs. And then if you guys do that, you guys get analysis paralysis. You guys end up not taking any trades, or you guys end up taking a bad trade because you guys think too much about the things that are not really that important on the chart. So if you guys have these zones, you know exactly what to look out for, what not to look out for. And that's pretty much that, guys. This is all you really need. You need the zones and you need momentum. You have those two, you're pretty much set to make some money in 2021. So let me get that upper zone right here. All right, we're done. That's pretty much it. See, easy as that. Go back to the 4 hour. Hide the indicator. Price is currently within these two structures right here. If price closes above here, we can anticipate this to shoot up over here for a nice profit of about 60 pips. So this upper zone right here is going to be 141.813. This lower structure right here is going to be 141.217. So if price closes above the structure, we have our momentum candle right here for a bullish momentum. And you can see how far it's pushed up, right? If price closes above the structure, you can take a long position right here, right at the TP, lock in about 60 pips, and you're good to go. So keep that in mind right there for GJ. But remember, you guys have to wait for this candle to close. We have about 2 hours left in this candle. You guys got to be patient with it. So that's it for GJ. Move on to the next one, GN. Go ahead and delete these zones. Zoom out from this point, turn on the K2SR. And you guys can see how easy that is, right? I analyzed like how many pairs already within the last few minutes, giving me a full advantage in the market over a lot of these other traders who are too focused on the irrelevant things on the chart. A lot of people always try to tell you that you need to focus on everything on the chart. Realistically, you don't. You just need to know where the zones are, know the direction of momentum, and ride that momentum. So looking at GN right here, price is currently within these two structures. This upper structure is going to be, actually, I'll give you this upper structure right here because we probably wouldn't want to take, let me see. Actually, I might take that back. Let's see, price. You got a lot of space right here. You got about 71 pips. So this upper structure right here is going to be 1.90699. And this lower structure right here is going to be 1.89401. Reason I'm giving you these two structures right here is because if price closes above here, you can take a buy position and ride it to the next structure right there, like it did right here, right? That would give you a gain of 68 pips. Vice versa, if price closes within this structure right here and then pushes to this lower structure like it did right here, right? This would give you a gain of about 90 pips. So that's why I'm not giving you the farther structures, because you can still trade within the structures if they're really wide. And you guys are free to do that. So that's it for GN right there. Let me move on to the next one, GU right here. Delete this stuff off there. Zoom out from this point, turn on the K2SR indicator. And then I will give you the structures here for GU. Let's make this a big one. Make this one right here. Let's make this a big one as well. And I can make adjustments as the week goes by, guys. I'm not going to focus on just these structures for the whole week. You know, usually by Wednesday, I try to adjust them, see if there's anything new. Most of the time there isn't, but if there is, I'm there to make the adjustments if necessary. Looking at this right here, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this and redraw the structure since we have the weekly, which is a lot stronger than the 4 hour. All right, so looking at this right here, turn off the K2SRs. Looks like price did break the structure right here. I think we did have a bullish candle as well. Nice. Okay, so this looks like my EA just filled, guys. So I'm currently within EA right now. Look at this right here. Looks like this is going to shoot up pretty far up from there. So for GU right here, we have a huge gap, guys, from the first structure to the other structure. So this structure right here is going to be 1.41756. And this lower structure right here is going to be 1.36570. So that's it for GU right there. Let me go back to EA real quick. See what's going on. That was a big spike up, huh? So this is what I was talking about, guys. It's a really risky asset to trade right now because of the market just opening, right? As soon as markets reopen, so right now it's 4 p.m., the Asian market's just opening. So Tokyo is just opening right now. And that's why you could probably see these spikes in price, right? That's why I said it was a speculative trade. I didn't call this as an official signal because this is a very, very risky trade. This is not a trade that I want to give you guys, but I'm just showing you guys that I'm taking it on my own account. So I'm currently in the trade right now. I'm in some drawdown for about 28 bucks. It's probably going to push up a bit. I think eventually it'll come back down though. So now it's coming back down. I was negative 30. Now I'm down to negative 20. And then it'll probably just keep coming down from there. I'll keep you guys updated as we move along. Otherwise, we will see how this plays out probably by tomorrow morning. So I'll leave that alone for there. I'm going to lock this on the chart so that you guys can see what happens tomorrow. I'll make sure I don't delete that. And then we'll continue on further. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at NZD CAD right here. Go ahead and delete all these zones. Turn on the K2SR. Got that right there. Got that over there. There. Get this upper zone over here to make sure we have that confirmation for above. All right, so looking at this right here, I'm just gonna close down a little bit right there. So I basically just created my own zone right here, guys. I don't recommend you guys do that, but I'm only doing that because I know exactly where to put it because I created this indicator, right? So I know where the zones are. So price is currently within this structure right here. If price breaks above, which price is going to be 0.91627, and this lower structure right here is going to be 0.91305. The thing with NZD CAD is that it's a very slow pair. It's not a pair that I necessarily like to trade. This is something that you might hold on for a while before you see some real movement. Because obviously you can see right here, price comes up, it consolidates a lot. It pushes up, consolidates, pushes up, consolidates, comes back down. So this technically could have been a huge range right here if you didn't count everything else. And it doesn't really move that much. So we'll see how this plays out. If price closes above the structure, then we can probably take a buy right here. Ride that up. Vice versa, if price closes below here, we can possibly take a sell. I wouldn't take it here. There's not enough room. But if it closes below here, then you can take a sell at that point. But like I mentioned, just be patient with it. And then we will continue on further with it tomorrow. So looking at NZD CHF right here, I'm going to go ahead and delete everything off there. Turn on the K2SRs. Zoom out from this point. And then draw my zones. All right, so we got everything right there. Thing right there. As you guys can see, a lot of the NZD pairs are kind of messy from last week or from the past couple of weeks. But I think they're going to start smoothing out within the next couple of weeks from now. Maybe the next 2 or 3 weeks should definitely start to smoothen out quite a bit. Looking at that right there. Okay, so take this off. Price is currently within these 2 zones right here. So looking at NZD CHF, This upper zone right here, I'm going to avoid this lower zone because we need to wait for price to break above the structure for you to take an entry anyways. So this upper zone is going to be 0.63894, and this lower structure right here is going to be 0.63363. So if price breaks above it, you can take a long position. If price breaks below it, you can take a short position there. Let's move on to the next one, NZD-JPY. This is probably going to be bullish like the rest of the JPY pairs. I'm going to go ahead and reanalyze this for you guys. We got this lower zone down here. We've got this zone right here. We got this zone over here. And we've lastly got this zone over here. Top of that, we need the upper zone. So I'm going to go in the 8-hour. Nothing there. Daily, nothing there. Weekly, something there. All right, cool. So the next zone is actually super far from where price currently is. Go ahead and take this off. Zoom out from this point. And like I mentioned, yeah, it's way up here. So this is probably going to push up all the way up here to that point. That structure is going to be at 76.335. And this lower structure right here is going to be 76.146. So what might happen here is price might come down, test this structure, and then skyrocket right back up. You know, like I mentioned, I think the NZD is going to be strong. So if that happens, it's going to push up just like I mentioned earlier and continue up further. So that's it for NZD JPY. Let me go on to the next one, NZD USD. This would have hit full TP right there, 50 pips. I think that was one of our trades last week, right? So if I was looking at that last week, yeah, we hit full TP for 50 pips. And there goes that little dancing kid that I always post up. So this was a trade I called last week right there. Price broke structure. We had a buy signal down here. There we go. Buy signal, momentum pushing up. Broke structure, we wrote it up to full TP. Like I mentioned, it tests the structure up here. And then from that point, it came right back down. So I'm gonna go ahead and redraw these zones for you guys. Delete that off the chart, zoom out from this point. Turn on the K²SRs. And draw this up for you guys. I'm gonna redraw this thing. All right, cool. We got that right there. That right there. There. I'm just gonna draw one big zone right here, guys, because this is kind of super wide. This one right here as well. I'm gonna go ahead and get that upper zone. Daily, weekly. Damn, there's like no zone here for NZD USD. Had to go all the way up to the monthly to get that. All right, cool. So looking at this right here, price is at a very, very high point right now. So looking at NZD USD, yeah, looking at NZD USD right here, price is currently within these two structures. This upper zone is going to be 0.72329. Again, that's 0.72329. And this lower structure right here is going to be 0.71605. So if price breaks below this structure, we can probably take a sell entry. If price breaks above this structure, we can probably take a buy entry. So we'll see how that plays out, guys. But like I mentioned, we'll wait for volatility to pick up before we actually take a deep dive into that. James said he wants to look at GA real quick. So let me pull up GA. So looking at GA over here. Here's GA, James. So basically prices between these two structures. This upper structure is going to be 1.78633. And this lower structure right here is going to be 1.76338. So that's it for GA right there. You know, we'd have to wait for price to break above it or break below it for us to take that entry. What might happen here is price will either push up, retest this structure and just range within the zone, or it can just continue dropping from this point, break the structure, then continue down further from there. So we'll see how this plays out. Like I mentioned, we just got to wait and see how the market moves as we continue on further. So let me keep going down over here. I think last one I ended off was USD CAD. I'm delete these zones right here, turn on the K2SR indicator, and then I'm going to draw these zones up for you guys. So there we go with USD CAD. Draw that one right there. This one right there. Here, this big one right here. So as you guys can see, USD CAD has been in a free fall pretty much ever since COVID got worse and ever since the stimulus news has come out. So what I anticipate happening right here is once price breaks this structure, it's going to continue dropping even further. So I'm going to take this off right here. Price is currently within the structure right here. This lower structure is going to be 1.27066, and this upper structure right here is going to be 1.27320. I anticipate it to break below the structure and continue to drop even further. But like I mentioned, we got to be patient. You got to wait for it to close below, because you can see right here, price has been trying to break the structure for some time now. It did break it right here, like late December, but then we had some weird movements because of the stimulus talk, and then it came right back down to where it's supposed to go, right? So let's keep that in mind with USD CAD. However, I'd wait for it to break the structure before taking a sell position. All right, two more pairs, guys. USD CHF. This is one that hit our full TP. I don't know why the alert didn't set off. I mean, I think it did, but it's still on my chart for whatever reason. It clearly went way below it. Did hit our full TP. So I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to go ahead and draw these zones on the chart for you guys really quick so that I can lastly move on to the questions and then call it a day, guys. Then we can regroup again tomorrow morning during New York session as we take on US 30. All right, so we got that right there. Just gonna connect this together. All right, guys, so we're good with that right there. Turn that off. Like I mentioned, USD CHF is moving similar to USD CAD because the US dollar is weak, obviously, right? Because of the stimulus. So right here, price is currently within these two structures. This lower structure is going to be 0.88225, and this upper structure is going to be 0.88688. So if price closes below this structure right here, we can anticipate a drop further, and that's where I would take that sell. So looks like a good sell right there, you know, once the market starts finally moving. But yeah, that's it for USD CHF. We'll probably see more movement as we reach London session in about, 8 hours? So midnight my time. That's when we'll start to see some nice movement in the market. So last Forex pair right here, UJ, I'm gonna delete that, zoom out from this point, turn on the K2SRs, and there we go. Upper zone right there. That's one right there as well. That one as well. That one as well. This one over here. This lower structure right here. And lastly, this one down here. All right, let me hide this. All right, looking at UJ over here. Price is currently within the structure. So I'll give you this upper structure right here, which is 103.278. And this lower structure right here is going to be 102.873. Reason why I gave you those two structures is if price breaks above the structure, you can take a buy. Vice versa, if price breaks below this structure down here, we can take a sell, right? Until price starts to move, you know, we're obviously not going to make any sudden entries on UJ, but you know, once this closes below, I think it's going to drop because the US dollar is weak. So if that happens, it's going to drop below here, and then you can take a sell position, catch that little free fall from that point. Until then, guys, I'd be careful with it. All right, so that's it for the Forex pairs. Now we can finally get to the questions. Sorry it took so long, guys, but you know, we have to do this every week so that we can have that edge in the market as we enter the new trading week. So going back to Euro odd right here, guys, check that out. You guys saw I was a negative, went straight into profit, just like I told you guys, right? Said I was going to come up, test that structure, come down, back into profit. So I was like negative 30, now I'm positive 40. That's a nice big move right there. So you guys can see that it's looking out really, really nicely. James said, okay, thanks. I saw the buy signal on GA and started to buy up, but I'll wait. Is it okay to use pending orders if we're waiting on a break? James, I wouldn't use any pending orders because there's no entry available yet, right? So for GA over here, let me check it out real quick. Looking at GA, so I'm trying to see, why did you take a buy position from there? So I don't see a buy entry here on this. James, the reason for, well, I don't know what strategy you're applying. So maybe if you're like a little more detailed on the strategy you're applying, but if you're using the K2SR, there hasn't been a break in structure yet, right? So for example, right here, price broke structure. It was in the structure. It broke below. We had a sell signal, right? If we had that sell signal, that's why we would have taken the short position right there to full TP. Vice versa right here, price never broke into the structure down here. So even though there's a buy signal right here, there's no buy entry. Right here, you can see how price came down. It broke into the structure. We had a buy signal. Then we could have taken that long position right there to full TP, right? So there's our full TP. Price broke into the structure, broke below. We got a sell signal. Take a short position right there, full TP. Over here, price never broke into this lower structure right here. So there's no entry available for a buy right now for GA. In order for there to be an entry, price would have to break into the structure and break out of it. So I wouldn't take a buy for GA, James. I would take a sell, because price looks like it's going to come below here, break the structure, and then it'll continue down further from here. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so let me read James' question over here. James didn't take it. I should have broken my questions to avoid the confusion. I was asking if we should use pending orders if we're waiting on price to break structure in general, not necessarily on GA. So there wouldn't be a pending order available, James, unless there was a close. So I'm trying to figure out where you would put that pending order, right? Because the thing is, for example, right here, if you're waiting for this to, so just use this for example, right? So if you think a buy, like say a pending buy signal came up right here, right? Obviously it wouldn't have closed yet because the signal had closed. It would technically be impossible for you to put a pending order if you're applying the strategy, because you wouldn't know there's an entry there until it actually closes. The thing is, these candles can appear and reappear, so there'd really be no place for you to put your pending order. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, what where you're trying to put your pending order if that's the case. Because the thing is, there would be no entry until it actually closes. So there'd be no place for you to put a pending order. The only place you could put a pending order is if this happened. So see this right here? Say a price closed below structure, it closed above, then it pulled back. Then in that situation, yes, you can put a pending buy order right there, a buy stop, right? So you put a pending buy stop right there. So in this situation, you have a pending order right there for a buy stop, but price is below the entry. So when price swings above it, it'll fill your order, and then you'll get into this original entry right here. So price swings back up, fills your order, you're in the trade, full TP. So that's a situation where you would put a pending order. But currently right now, there wouldn't be an entry available because this wouldn't have been a buy entry for here. Same with this point right here. So with this sell right here, you can see that price broke the structure. We got a sell signal, but our entry would have been right here, right? So we'd have a pending short position right there, which we wouldn't have taken just yet. But that's basically where we would put a pending sell stop. So when price comes back below, it'd fill the order and then take us to our TP. So right there, the order would have been filled. And then at that point, we would have wrote it down like that to full TP basically. So yeah, short answer to your question, this is how you would put a pending order, but it would only be if it was a late entry. You wouldn't put a pending order if the trade hasn't confirmed yet, because obviously you don't want to enter the trade at the wrong time. So hopefully that answers your question, James. I think that's probably what you were asking, right? So let me go ahead and check the questions over. So Flynn, hopefully you're still in here. Sorry, I know it took so long, but I'm going to go ahead and analyze your DAX 30 real quick. So I'm going to go to the DAX over here. DAX 30, there we go, German index 30. Basically, when I draw my zones on the DAX or even any indices, I usually draw the zones on the 1 hour because we don't trade on the very high time frames for indices, right? Because it moves way too fast. So for example, right here, I'm going to go ahead and draw these structures. And I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen for the DAX. So just looking at the DAX right here, I've drawn my structures, and you guys can see that these structures work for any asset. Doesn't matter if you're trading Forex, indices, stocks, futures, gold, commodities, anything really. You can use these structures regardless. So looking at the DAX right here, you can see that price has been rejecting off these structures. So price rejected off this structure, came up, rejected off this structure, came down, rejected off this structure, came up. And then at this point, it's now pulling back, rejected off this point, and I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator. So right here, we had a sell momentum, broke structure, came down, tested this structure, rejected off this point. If we get a buy signal, right now we don't have a buy signal, right? But if we do get a buy signal and price closes above here, then you can anticipate a bullish move. However, if this doesn't happen, this is scenario number one. If this doesn't happen and price ends up swinging back down, if it closes below this structure right here, then we can take a short position. You guys got to remember to analyze this from many perspectives. Don't just analyze it from one perspective because you think it's going to be bullish or you think it's going to be bearish. You guys have to, weigh your pros and cons and identify each asset you're analyzing to make sure that you're fully prepared, So if you enter a long position here, if it breaks above the structure, you'll know exactly what to look out for, right? You'll put your long position right there. Stop loss will probably be below the structure. And then if it pulls back, then you understood that, that just didn't play out. But those are the two scenarios right there. Either you get a buy signal, price breaks above the structure, you take a buy, or price swings back down from where it currently is, follows through with this bearish momentum right here, and then continues down further, right? And just using history for an example over here, you can see that price, when it came up from the structure, it came up, had a buy signal, it shot up a little bit, right? Sell signal, shot down. Buy signal, it broke the structure, then it continued up further. But you can see how it respects these structures, right? We had a sell signal, hit the structure, it failed to break and close below, rejected off it. Buy signal, broke structure. You could ride this up to the next structure right there, right? So that happened right there. Same situation right here, broke structure again, continued up further. So same with right here, we have a bearish bias technically. So we currently have a bearish bias because the previous signal was a sell. If this closes below here, we can anticipate this to drop even further to test this structure down here, right? Vice versa, if you're taking a buy position, so say we get a buy signal like we did right here, we had a buy signal. So just use this for an example. Let me pull up the ellipses over here. All right, so using this as an example right here, right? We had a buy signal. On top of that buy signal, the price closed above the structure. That's basically what we would be looking for over here. There's no buy signal, but if there was, and then it closed above here, right? Like this right here, then we can anticipate that to continue up further, just like it did right here. We had a buy signal, closed above structure, pushed up to the next structure right there. We'd have to identify the higher structure, but right now it's irrelevant, so we're not going to draw that. Vice versa, if price closes, so right here we have, a bearish bias because the last signal was a sell signal, right? Once it broke structure right here, what did it do? It tested the next structure. Right here, we still have this bearish bias right here, right? Because price hasn't provided a buy signal. So until price provides a buy signal, we're still looking for a sell. So you can see price is dropping, right? If price closes below the structure, similar to what happened over here, the only reason we wouldn't trade within this area because there's not enough space. We'd wait for it to close below here, like it did right here, and then we can ride this on its way down to this structure. So those are the two scenarios right there. Until that happens, then we're not going to take any trades for this specific pair. But, you know, like I mentioned, you just got to be patient. It's only 4:16 right now. The London market hasn't even opened yet for the trading week. So once it does open, we'll probably see a lot more volatility and you'll see a lot smoother moves by that point. So let me go ahead and take a look over here real quick in the chat, see if there's anything else. Flynn said, so right now we are in a wait and see mode for German DAX. Exactly, Flynn. You don't want to take a trade right now because the London market isn't open yet. You know, obviously the German DAX is a European asset. So you want to see what happened over the weekend and then see how it falls through with today's movements. So I'd wait for London to open and then I would probably take this trade. If it closed below here, see a nice drop coming. So just be patient with it. And, you know, just like you mentioned, we're in a wait and see mode right now, because there's two scenarios that can play out. Looks like we're going to have a bearish bias though, because it looks like it's going to continue down further. If it closes below here, then we can take that sell. But until then, we're just going to be waiting and anticipating, you know, whatever move happens from that point. So that's pretty much it for there. That's it for the DAX. And move on to Nilton right now. Nilton's question for gold. Gotcha, Nilton. Let me pull it up real quick. Got gold right here. Okay, let me finish this up real quick, guys. I got to get going right now. I just realized it's like 4 something. It'd be somewhere at 5. So let me go ahead and analyze this for Nilton real quick. Let me take this off, zoom out from this point. Actually, let me go on the 4-hour. Yeah, 4-hour right there. Zoom out, turn on the K2SRs, and then let me confirm this move for Nilton real quick. All right, so we got that zone right there. We got this lower zone right there. We got this. And gold is such a messy pair, right? It's been like all over the place last week, or the past couple of weeks actually. So these zones are super, super messy. But looking at this right here, Nilton, you're spot on with that buy. The only difference is that, okay, no, you're good. The zone is way out here. So you're good to go, Nilton. The only thing is you have to wait for this candle to close. Don't jump the gun just yet. All right. Because there's no confirmation here. You can see right here, prices tested it before, but it didn't make it above. It didn't close above. So after that, it dropped heavily, right? So if this closes above the structure, then you can take your long position right there and anticipate this to push up to this structure right here. So analyzing gold right now, if this closes above the structure, we can anticipate this to push up to this structure right here, which is at 1925.06. And once it tests this structure, one of two things can happen. It can break above it and continue further, or it can reject off it and come right back down before either swinging back below or correcting back upwards, right? So there's a couple of scenarios that can play out right here, Nilton. I do think it looks like a nice buy. For one, the gold's going to be stronger than the US dollar after the stimulus is passed. You know, obviously they're printing US dollars. The US dollar is going to get weaker and weaker, but I personally wouldn't enter it until it closes above here first, right? You want that full confirmation. You don't want to enter this trade too early and then it ends up spiking down on you, right? So this is what I see happening right here. If you're already in a buy, you should be fine, but I would be careful. Maybe move your stop loss and profit, because until this confirms above here, then I wouldn't put, you know, my full trust into this specific trade. But overall, I think it's going to be a bullish trade, bullish move. I don't know how far your stop loss is. If your stop loss is pretty wide, you should be perfectly fine. However, you know, this might be a little bit of a kill zone right here. It might retrace back. And then if your stop loss is within this area, you might get kicked out. So this is basically what I see happening right here for gold overall. So keep that in mind. Like I mentioned, if this closes above here, then you got the full green light to go. But until then, I would be very careful with this trade because it's going to be highly manipulated as the market starts to fully open for the trading week. But yeah, so I'm done with that. Let me check out US 30 real quick for Sam. Hopefully that helps, Milton. If you want me to reanalyze it tomorrow, I'll leave everything on the chart. So we can check again tomorrow morning, Milton, just hop on the live session and then we'll see how this played out, at that point. But let's go ahead and take a look at US 30 real quick for Sam. And then one last one for Trell and NASDAQ. And then I'm gonna have to get off for the night, guys, because I have some stuff to do today. Otherwise, I will definitely be on here tomorrow where we will be back for our normal live session. So let me go ahead and take a look at US 30 real quick. I'm gonna analyze this on the 1 hour. Turn on the K2SRs. All right, so like right here, we got that. Right here, that. This right here. I'm gonna go ahead and fix this up there. There. All right, cool. So I got US 30 lined up right here. This is at the all-time high, so there's not going to be any upper zones right now, obviously, until price breaks above it. So Sam, the thing with US 30 is we have to wait until the US market opens tomorrow. Obviously, you guys know how US 30 moves. It doesn't really respect fundamental. I mean, it does respect fundamentals. It doesn't respect technicals very much. If there's any news that affects the market anyway specifically, then it'll move in that direction. However, right now it's at the all-time high, right? It's at the very all-time high right here. So the problem with this is a lot of people are anticipating a sell. So I personally wouldn't trade US 30 until tomorrow morning, because what could happen right now is this, right? It'll pull back a little bit from now until London session. And then during New York session, it'll do the opposite of what everyone's doing. If everyone's trying to sell because they think it's at a very all-time high, what's probably going to happen is it's going to spike up even higher, right? To stop everyone out. So Sam, I would be careful with US 30. I personally still think it has a bullish bias, but we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. So me personally, I'd be bullish US 30, but like I mentioned, they're probably going to mess around, spike price around a bit just to give people some confidence for that sell. Kind of what happened here. People took sells because they thought it was going to drop, and then what happened? It shot straight up from there, right? So I wouldn't fall for those traps, and I wouldn't fall for the speculation either. I would hold off and just be patient and then wait for this to actually play out in New York session tomorrow before entering this trade. Other than that, let's see what else we got here. So I'm done with US 30. I'm going to hop on NASDAQ real quick. And this is going to be the last question for today, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow after this. Sorry, I got to run. I didn't realize I was on this webinar for like almost 3 hours now. But I do enjoy hopping on these calls with you guys, right? Because this does help me out as well as I prepare for the trading week. But like I mentioned, volatility is too low. It's not really the best time for us to really be entering or looking for trades right now, because price can move substantially from now until New York session tomorrow, which should be when the market's actually fully open. So looking at the NASDAQ right here, NASDAQ moves similar to US 30, Trell. It doesn't really respect technicals all that much. It's more news-based. So depending on what's happening in the world, what's happening in the news, it'll push price in either direction. You can see, you can identify these ranges, but generally, if there's something that affects the news heavily, then it'll push price in whichever way it wants to move. So right here for NASDAQ, it's currently within these two structures right here. We could even ignore this one right here. And it looks like it's just ranging within these structures right here, right? So looking at this over here, I think Tesla released their numbers. I think they undersold. So they underperformed for this last quarter. And it's probably going to affect, I don't know if they're in NASDAQ, but there's a lot of tech stocks that aren't doing so great, or they're not doing as great as they anticipated. So that's probably why we have this drop right here. However, if I look at the IG sentiment over here, let me just see where everyone's trading. IG sentiment, NAS 100. See where everyone's trading. Short, right? Yeah, so majority of people are short right here. So with that said, I probably anticipate this to drop a little bit. And probably by New York session, it'll probably spike up quite a bit. So I'd be careful with NASDAQ as well. Same with US 30, guys. Just be careful and don't jump into the trades too early, especially for the indices, because the market hasn't even opened yet for these specific pairs. They are moving because the market technically is open, but people aren't trading it yet. So volatility is kind of low. It's just a bunch of speculators in the market right now until the New York Stock Exchange opens tomorrow. So until then, I would sit tight, maybe watch it, but I wouldn't enter any US 30 or NASDAQ trades right now because there's just too much uncertainty. And, for me, I don't like to gamble, guys. I like to take trades that I know are going to win. And I wouldn't advise you to take these trades right now, in my perspective. If you guys want to take that risk, go ahead. But, I'm only looking out for your guys' best interest. And I definitely don't think it's a safe pair to be trading right now. But yeah, guys, so hopefully this all helps, guys. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will catch you guys back here tomorrow for our normal live session where I'll be trading live and we'll be taking on US 30 for the daily entry tomorrow morning. So thanks for showing up, guys. Hopefully this helps. If you guys have any other questions, email me, Telegram me, anything like that, and I'll try to get to you guys as soon as possible. Our first trades will try to go out around 6 p.m. If not, I'll look again at 10 p.m. Otherwise, we will probably start our full trading day tomorrow once the markets are fully open. We just don't want to hop into anything too early, guys, and take any risky trades that we're going to regret at some point in the future. So thanks for showing up, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.